What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Code Peterson tutorial. I thought since it's autumn and fall time, we're getting there anyways, it's real close. It would be fun to make something that's kind of cozy, like maybe those newspapers that are in the Harry Potter movies, where you have kind of like the old looking newspaper and then the images are coming to life. Might be a fun way to incorporate either into a newsletter, or if you're a teacher, you could have it be a student project where they get to write a story and do something fun with that. Or if you are just looking for a creative way to display some information or for a presentation, maybe this could help out. So I'm using Adobe Express for this. You can use it for free, but also if you have Adobe Creative Cloud, you have like the ultimate unlocked version where you can use everything with it. So you can just go search for Adobe Express and sign in with all of that. And then the other thing that I'm using for this is the Adobe fonts also. So if you go to fonts.adobe.com, they have these typefaces that you can use. And it's kind of nice because they're real easy to install. You just click add family, and then they are there available in your Adobe Creative Cloud suite for you to use. Now, the reason why I wanted to show you this is especially for this project, if you go to Browse All, and then over here you have this list of filters that you can use to help you find different ones. If you go to View 12 More, there is one in here, like this black letter has some good potential typefaces you might incorporate into this newsletter or newspaper. And the other one is this horror one. They have some cool ones in there that you can use also. So glance through those. There's a few that I've installed that or that I've added to my Adobe products that I'm going to use for this project. So you can feel free to use those or branch off and use any of your own. So to get started with this for Adobe Express, I'll go up here to the little plus button and I will find on here, they have all these little options where you can choose where it gives you the correct sizes already. And I'm going to go with the flyer. Even though this is something that's going to be digital, I think it'll look a little bit better as a flyer, but you could choose any of these sizes that you want. It just depends where you want to share it. If it's going to be in an email or on a website, or if you're going to post it on social media or whatever, then that's going to ultimately impact what you want to use. I'm going over here to flyer. And to begin with, I want to come up with my heading up here at the top. So over here on the left-hand side, I'll go over to text and I will go to add text. And I don't know, I will call this like, I'm going to make this and be kind of like Hogwarts style, but maybe for a school or something. So I might go Salem Elementary. When I have that typed in there, then I can go over here to my different typefaces. See how this looks. 1 year's not too bad. I do kind of like that typeface there. I think that would work good for the top part of this here. So if I copy this down here and then maybe make this one be Professor Minty. And then I could type in this one and say like October newsletter. I'll shrink this one down. Okay, and then I can just select both of those and resize these till I get it kind of to where I want it on there. All right, so first part on there, I think that looks pretty good. Now, if I go over here to elements and I search in here for border, then they have all sorts of different borders that we can use for these. And Some of them are under icons or shapes, those kind of things. But then they also have these under design assets. If I shrink this down, maybe put this right here. And then if I were to do this on here, and then I can copy and paste that and just rotate this around the other way and put that down here like that. If you hold shift while you rotate this, then it'll lock you to kind of like more standard angles and kind of helps you be consistent so that they're all laid out there that way. I'll tell you that doesn't look too bad. I might keep that there like that. Each element that we bring on here to this newspaper, you'll see that it adds over here to this too. And so right now we don't have anything overlapping, but if you do, then the items that are up taller are going to be above the things behind. So you might end up hiding things and kind of overlapping items like that. So just kind of a heads up with that on there. Okay, now I thought maybe since this would be like an October newsletter, I could go in here and add another text. It's called Grandeur. No, this isn't too bad. And maybe for the first thing on here, we could put something like class field trip to pumpkin patch. All right, when we have those typed in there like that, you can go over here to this text layouts and click this little icon here and go to dynamic. And add a space up here. So class field trip to pumpkin patch. And then underneath that, we can add another text. I'm going to switch that typeface to be P22, Marcel. You may not want to use this typeface. It's kind of your call if you want to use something that's script or not. It just kind of depends on the readability for it. If it's for a fun creative project, for your students, then I think it's fine. If it was an actual newsletter you were sending out to your families or whatever, then I would maybe just kind of use something that maybe is something that's in italics or something if you want that. But otherwise, you do want people to be able to read it. And then I can drag this edge over here. And for right now, I'm going to go and search for lorem ipsum generator. And this is something that I'll do, and you can just find one online, generate, and it just makes kind of blank, kind of almost gibberish text on there for us. So that way I can just see what the layout looks like for this right now. That's a little too much text in there for me, I think. And then that's just kind of a nice little placeholder for you, so that it looks like text, without having to come up with anything in there for right now. Now, if you go over here on this left-hand side, we can change this line spacing. Compress that just a little bit up there, and may kind of shrink that typeface down a little bit more. We do have quite a large size of typeface on there. That looks pretty good so far. As we know, with our Harry Potter newspapers, we do have those videos. So if you have something where like your students in an activity or something like that, then you could put that in here. I don't really have anything like that right now. And so I can actually go over here to media and then I can search for videos and they do have some free video examples for us. So let's search in here for pumpkin patch and we have kind of promising. Too bad. I'll bring this one in to this layout. And as you'll see when you bring in a video here, it'll give you a timeline down here at the bottom. So you can kind of decide how, uh, what the length is you want that to be. I'm going to crop this image in here a little bit and then we'll try and fit this in here. Shrink this one down here a little bit more. And then maybe I will bring this line spacing up here a little bit closer together. If I can kind of match these up a little bit, get them sized in there. But if I select this picture, then I can go over here to there's effects and there's adjustments. So you can kind of play around with those. If I look here for the adjustments and I find where it says saturation, I'm going to bring down the saturation all the way down to the left. And then I might increase the contrast quite a bit to where I get like a decent contrast between those lights and darks in there. And I think that's going to help it to show up a little bit better later. So far, so good. We have the top part of this done. And if I'm going consistent here with my hierarchy of my typefaces, here we'll type in and then I will have this be the same width here as basically these two elements. All right, and then maybe if I copy this type up here and I paste this, and this could be something where maybe we're going to have some columns of this possibly. And again, most of the time, if you're going to be using, making layouts, you would use something like InDesign or whatever, but this is just kind of for a fun newsletter or a student project where you don't need a big learning, you don't want a big learning curve to create something new. I might just for right now copy this text. All right, and then we can find another video over here. So maybe we'll search for this trick or treat and let's see what we can find. Not too many right here. So let's maybe go Halloween kids. Yeah, I like this one. This is pretty good. We'll bring in that picture. And again, if you have any others, you can always upload them in here. There's a little upload section right here, and you can bring those pictures in there and get everything that you want in there. And here we go. Then we can also go to adjustment for this picture. We'll bring down the saturation. So this one here, the contrast, it is kind of a dark overall picture. So I might bring up the brightness. Even just keep the contrast even or even down just a little. We'll add another text here. we'll just put www.salemelementary.edu. Kind of make up a website for this, and then we can shrink this down. And then I might go back to this typeface over here and find my Professor Minty. I like this where it has your typefaces that are in use. You can put those, it automatically puts those in there, which is nice. Okay, so that is good. Play around with your layout there. Make sure our sections here kind of look like they fit together. And now we're ready for these finishing touches. So if we go back over here and instead of having videos selected, let's go to all media and we'll find old paper. And we have these photos up here that might work. So we'll go to view all, and here's some good options for us. This one here might not be too bad. I'll have it be larger than the canvas on here, so that way we hide that exterior of it. Now with these pictures, with these videos we have on here, we can select on that and we can go to the blend tool, and there's multiply and there's screen. So in this case, multiply works a lot better with those. So I'm going to select that and go to multiply. And then it allows some of that newspaper background to be seen through there. It gives you that effect where it looks like it's printed on there. And then the other thing that I like to do sometimes, because if you select on the text, strangely enough in Adobe Express, they don't have the blending styles for the typeface on here. So a way you can do that is if I copy this here and I paste it, and it's going to paste it directly where the previous copy was. And then I can go over here to blend for this old paper, and I can choose multiply or screen. And in this case, multiply works better with the colors we're using and everything. And then we have that look on there where it shows the grains of the paper actually kind of above everything else. Now, sometimes when you do this, it might make the text or the videos a little too hard to see. So then what you can do is you can actually take this opacity here. You can lighten it up just a shade if you want to. For final touches, if you wanted to, you could go up here to audio, and they have all sorts of different little categories that you can use. Go to novelty and view all. So once you find one that you like, and you could just bring that in there. There's some nice finishing touches right there for you. So then once you're all the way done with that, you can go here and you can change by selecting your videos. And there's this show layer timing down here. If this isn't showing up ever, you can click that and it'll show you your video length on there. So if you don't want this to be so long, if you want it to be like 5 seconds, then you can actually select your individual videos and also the background and the song, and you can make it be however long that you want. you can go up here to share and uh, share the link with people or give a view only link or make it a template. You can do those kind of things. But if you're wanting to post this on the web or on your social media, then you just go up here to download, and then you can choose whichever of these modes that you want. If you're wanting the video, obviously MP4 is what you want to select, and you can change the video resolution if you're worried about it being too large of a file size, and then you go to download. Once that happens, you'll notice when it's done processing, it's downloading and it puts it into your download folder. If you ever want to change the name of your file, you sure can up here so it's easier to find next time, and then it'll be available in your stuff folder. Let's click up here and take a look at this and see how it looks. And there we have it. Kind of a charming little fun creative project. Could be used for something that's productive like a newsletter, sending out information in a fun, engaging way to your audience. Or it could be just a creative thing that you're making, or even something if you're an educator, a teacher, having your students create something and finding a fun way for them to turn it in, as opposed to just writing it down on a piece of paper, typing it out in a Google Doc or something like that. As always, let me know if you have any comments or questions, and obviously share any ideas that you have to improve this. I'd love to hear them. Or if you've made this and you're excited about it, share a link with me so I can check it out. Always love to see the creations everyone makes. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and we'll hopefully catch you on another video down the road.